lost unfairly. Then the Zambia Football Coaches Association even released a statement saying they didn't name Numba, but they said that that coaches shouldn't come out and say things because they can inflame the match officiating situation. And particularly, if you do recall, we saw an incident in Eastern Province.
Yeah.
Yes, where a referee
a week ago or
yes,
so, where a referee was killed.
Very unfortunate situation. So ZAFCA coming out and with a statement which is meant to calm things down and just match officials need to be protected. That's the reality, and so that statement was good. However, what I didn't agree with the statement which ZAFCA made was I was saying that coaches have been complaining, particularly this season. Chisimbewa complained at a certain point in time of the refereeing decision. Then there was Aguila Stars coach Brian also complained of officiating during one of their games this season at Aguila Stars, and he was very emotional. He said, livelihoods. So you've been seeing all these coaches, or a number of them, complaining. And then the issue is that FAS seem to be doing nothing. No statements, they're quiet. And this is now the end of the season. Traditionally, what FAS have been doing is that they've always sent some type of information with 6 games to go. They'll release a statement saying that we're coming into the last parts of the league where the league is very tough. It becomes emotional because players, some players, their contracts will end if they get demoted. Some coaches, their contracts will end. So everyone is really pushing, and because of that, FAS have traditionally issued a statement saying that things should be calm and just assuring that officiating will be, things should be calm. But this time around, I don't know, they didn't release any statement. So now ZAFCA, after the statement release, you wonder, it doesn't address, their statement didn't address a number of things. It didn't address if coaches have ever complained to ZAFCA, and how many of those complaints were heard by ZAFCA, and how many ended up with some type of resolution. Another problem I find in the Zambian league, this is very problematic, and FAS need to do something, because if they don't, you're wondering, is that the public were unaware? Is a referee performing well? Is he not performing well? In Malawi, there was a game just this past weekend between Master Systems. I can't remember the other team they were playing. There's an incident which happened in that game in which a player, Master Systems player, almost stepped on another player, and then the referees didn't do anything. Those referees have been suspended. The Super League of Malawi, Sulom, released a statement saying that these referees have been suspended. Clyde, when was the last time, particularly this season, where you heard of a referee being suspended for bad? Zero.
I can't remember.
And that's the thing. I was speaking to one football official on the side and says that no, the refereeing is okay. Okay, let's put aside. Maybe I'm biased, right? Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm biased. How many referees did Zambia have at the last Africa Cup?
We didn't have any.
Zero.
Yeah.
How many referees did Zambia have at the CHAN? We only had one, Diana Chikotesh, and she was one of the assistants. We had no center referee. She was one of the assistants, and she's been there before. How many referees do we have at the World Cup? Zero.
Yeah.
So now, already we're seeing a trend. Before, we would have a few coaches, we would have a few referees. We would have Jan Skarswe, would have maybe Wellington Kauma, they would be there. Even CAF Champions League quarterfinals, zero. CAF Confederations Cup quarterfinals, zero.
It's a sign.
It's a sign
that something
is wrong somewhere. But then FAS are doing nothing. And then the thing is that this is the problem as we move on to the next part. If people start questioning, because FAS are saying nothing, and then the officiating, our referees are not going outside and then clubs are complaining and then nothing is being done, and then coaches are complaining and then nothing's being done. As Coach Brian said, he said that, that it hurts because this is our livelihood, and then someone else is like, they're coming to decide on our behalf. Football, the entertaining part of football. Now, this is not to say that there's biasness. Maybe it's just a lot of referees that just don't know how, they're not good referees. But the issue which comes in is that if fans do nothing, and then this will discourage fans, because fans will just be like, yeah, I'm going to go for a game, I'm going to pay my hard-earned money, and I'm going to go and watch, I'm going to watch on TV, and the match will be determined by a referee through incompetence or through any whatever means that someone's imagination has. And then they'll just say, what's the point? Let me watch maybe the Malawian League, whereby I know that when a referee does badly, he gets suspended. Already there's an accusation of certain referees, during the course of a game, whereby they get into some type of disagreement with players, and the players will say that the referee said that. What are fans doing about that type of exchange? So anyway, as I said, it's a bigger issue, but there should be some action. Otherwise, fans have been too silent over the match officiating. Yeah.
All right. Red Arrows were in action also yesterday, right?
Yes, Red Arrows, they managed to beat Green Eagles 2-1. A good victory for this Red Arrow side. They were celebrating winning the Absa Cup, and then they followed it up. Albert Kangwanda scoring again to give them a victory. Then we saw Konkola Blades beating Mines United 2-1 away.
All right. Are there any games this weekend in the Zambian Super League? Nothing, right?
Yeah, there are games. We'll be talking more about them. This is near the end of the show, the games that will be available.
All right. So, speaking about referees, we spent a lot of time talking about officiating. The ref's corner. Let's bring in Elderman to talk about different situations.
Yeah. So we asked Elderman about the issue of we're discussing technology. That obviously there's been complaints of officiating, and one of the issues is that a lot of people have been wondering that why don't our referees wear these communications equipment? Like, what's really going on around that issue? So let's just take a listen to what he had to say over it.
So they have not managed the calling technology. They have not managed it. So it will need a lot of investment. The equipment is there. The equipment is there, but the expenses, it is investment which is required.
So the equipment is actually there.
Yes. So particularly, I asked him about each and every equipment. So he did. We asked him about each and every equipment. So he did highlight. Though he couldn't remember all of the figures, because remember that he's been in the referees committee before. But one I checked online is the because watching the league, I've seen in the past, maybe not this season, maybe last season or the other season, where the referees are wearing communication and then they're talking to each other, but it's not across the league. So it would be some games you'd watch on TV. So I asked, but why? We see that it says that he was saying that that's actually for those referees who wear it, they are given by FIFA, and then some of them give their colleagues to use, so that some of their colleagues would borrow them, but they're expensive. So I checked the cost, and the minimum amount, this is the cheapest one, would be about 15,000 kwacha, a set of 3.
Wow.
That's the cheapest, and that's the really, really, the one which you are not even sure if it's going to last you the whole season. And that's used for mostly amateur. But the professional ones are anything from 30,000 going up to 70, 80,000. That's for 3 people or 4 people communicating with each other. Now, look at it from that situation. We are talking about one set for referees. They are in a league season. There are 9 in a league round. There are 9 games which are played. So those 9 games now. I'm trying to do my maths because it's 18 teams, 9. So that would be, if it's like, let's say 50,000, that would be 450,000 investing in just 9 games, and they want to increase to 10. So if we put it at 50,000, that would be 500,000 kwacha investment in terms of just the equipment. Not talking about repair, maintenance, and any other issues like that.
All right, let's listen to another part where he continues talking about technology.
It's very expensive. Are you aware that even these signals that we have shared in a few games, there is only referees who have them. The equipment is in South Africa. It's very expensive. FAS cannot afford for every referee, and the individual referees can't also afford. Just one gadget, very, very expensive. Yeah, so there are so many examples that we are going to.
All right, so the issue is about the expense.
Yeah, the expense, which is a big thing. And then, FAS in the last AGM want to increase the teams.
Mm-hmm.
But by increasing the teams, it's making it difficult to bring technology. And we're just talking about communication. We're not talking about goal line technology, as he said. We don't even want to talk about VAR. Remember that a few seasons back, FAS said that VAR would come. What happened?
Yeah.
There was one game, though, kudos to FAS. One game, though, where VAR, I can't remember which game it was last season. Anyone who remembers which game that was? No, 2 seasons or 3 seasons ago, there was one game.
It wasn't the Absa Cup, no?
Oh, yes, it was the Absa Cup. It was the final. They even brought, I think it was an Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they even brought an Egyptian. So, besides that, yeah, the VAR guy.
All right, so the Premier League, the English Premier League was on this week. We saw Man City facing Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it was a big game for this City side. They're chasing Arsenal, so we're looking to see who's going to really get a victory. Plus, this Manchester City side, who've just had to be playing, they had one game in hand, so they really had to keep up with this Arsenal side, and they played a good game. Marmoush getting among the goals. It was a very, very tight victory for Arsenal, but again, they've had an advantage over Crystal Palace over the last 4 or 5 games. So it was always going to be advantage to Manchester City, and they got the win. Now it's really going down to the wire in their last games, like who is going to manage to...
2 games remaining.
Yes, 2 games remaining before the end.
Yeah.
2 games. What will City do? What will Arsenal do? Arsenal, the challenge for them is that they've got one eye on the Premier League and the other eye on the UEFA Champions League. So there's that now. Where do we focus? Where do we focus? But I feel if this Arsenal side can push, they'll be able to get the league season. For Manchester City, I would say that possibly maybe I'm just feeling a bit that Arsenal would, Manchester City have won it. But then again, Pep Guardiola is a winner. He wants to win it. Yeah, could be at Fundo. Now, this is my former assistant, so this time, he is also under pressure. It's funny, moving, here in Zambia, we never feel, our coaches, I feel, jobs, I think it would be the best job is to be a Zambian coach at times, because just this season, the statistics of coaches who've been fired, I think it's the least ever. Just 4 or 5. In England, there's so much pressure. Yeah. So even when just Manchester City finishing second, that is like a failure. So they want to do well in their next round of matches, and that's why when they face Bournemouth away on Tuesday, they're going to really push it, because they know that this is a game that we need to win.
Yeah, they know that maybe Arsenal will make a mistake here and there, so they have to really push and win the remaining 2 games. Yeah,
and Arsenal, who will be in action against Burnley as well. That's on Monday. Arsenal will definitely be looking to push Mikel Arteta. At this, you can see in the semi-finals, you could see he was a little bit stressed, but it's understandable. It's such a high-pressure environment. You could see he was particularly after the first leg of their Champions League game. You could see he was a little bit stressed, but after second game, started smiling again. Then they went back to the Premier League and started doing well. Then you can feel that now it's like the pressure has sort of lifted. Now he just says that, okay, he's doing some calculations, say that, okay, what do we need to do? We need to beat Burnley. How do we beat Burnley? He needs to plan. And that is what makes the game so exciting as they come face to face with each other. I'm just trying to check the last games for Arsenal.
So Arsenal will play
Crystal Palace, the last game. And then Manchester City will play Aston Villa at home.
Big games. Yeah.
Huge games.
Huge game. Yeah.
Huge game. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams fare. And for us, it's going to be big. There's also CAF Champions League action this coming Sunday, where we are going to see Mamelodi Sundowns. There will be an action at home against Asfar. It's going to be an interesting game between the two teams. For Asfar of Morocco, they really want to do well. They really want to beat this Sundowns side. Sundowns most likely won't win the Premier Soccer League of South Africa. The reason being is that they lost during the week. They lost to TS Galaxy, so their chances have sort of like reduced, and now they'll be looking at them. And if Pirates win this past weekend, that's it for Sundowns. So they're looking at the CAF Champions League. But funny thing, there's an advert I saw earlier on today. The advert is they're advertising for a team manager. And I was like, you're advertising for a team manager, but you still have your team manager is still there. It's Cardoso. So it's like the coach has practically been fired before. He's playing the CAF Champions League and they're advertising for a team manager for the next season. That's crazy. But Mamelodi Sundowns.
Football is ruthless.
I'm telling you, and that's what I'm saying. In Zambia, it's such a relaxed environment. I know that some coaches will be like, "Punch, no, it's not relaxed." In Zambia, there's pressure. But how many teams have changed coaches this season? Let's look through the. I know we're wrapping up. Let's look through the.
As you're looking at that, there's a message here saying, "I love Punch's sentiments about Man City. May it be the same when Arsenal gets the Premier League." Another one here says the issue of refereeing should not be a matter of cost. We buy tickets for a good, fair game and not for FAR's salaries. Okay,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think FARS should invest, but then the challenge which is there in Zambian football is that FARS really have got no. Let me put it this way: we've mixed up our football into politics too much, into football politics. Now to understand that we've got no referees association in Zambia. We don't have, and the reason being is this: back in 2010 or somewhere there. The referees decided to boycott the league for whatever reason. I can't remember what. So they decided to boycott. So what FARS did is that FARS removed the referees association, and then they brought the referees association under FARS, under referees manager. Now already that's problematic, and I've said it. I've said this before. That FARS can't oversee the referees, and we expect there to be real improvements. Referees Association are supposed to be independent. This is how it is in each and every country. But in Zambia, because of that situation there, like FARS have been scared, because what they believe would happen is that if we make the Referees Association separate, then there could be these people who could come in, who could influence the referees to maybe boycott matches. This is going to make us look bad. But I think we're not progressing. So the referees manager, the referees desk is under FARS, and already do FARS have an incentive to improve, to equip the referees desk and referees manager when FARS have got its own problems. That's why I'm saying that if there are referees out there listening, fight for your referees association back, get it back. And I'm not saying like physically or anything. No, I'm saying your rights. You need a referees association which is going to look into your rights. It's not to say that people at affairs or anywhere are bad people. No. That's not the point. The point is that in each and every country where there's progress in football, there's a referees association is separate because referees need to oversee, and that's why all these referees, why they're getting paid good salaries and what's this. It's because they've got a referees association. So if we want the referees to have this equipment, they need sponsorship. And if you've noticed in the Premier League, as we wrap up on these other leagues, you find that the referees' jerseys they've got a sponsorship here, they've got a sponsorship on the sleeve. Yes, that money is coming from a company going into the referees association, and then they're able to buy this equipment and liaise with the league body and the FA and say, how do we sit down, how do we make the game move better. The referees need to be involved in making just having a referees manager. I feel that fans should relinquish control, but again, it's like a football political issue, and I know it's over decades the people in charge have just said no, but we're up a chan, because if you want the football to progress, the best times of Zambian football, if you notice from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the referees association was independent.
All right.
So those are my thoughts.
All right, so we have to wrap up here. Punch will be back at 12:25 in a few minutes' time with more football on the daily sports update. Any last words as we conclude?
So it's going to be a great weekend of football. Did we mention the games that will be taking place
in the Zambian Super League? No.
The Zambian Super League. It's going to be a great weekend of football. I think let's also you can follow us on Facebook so that we'll share we've been sharing the table, so you can follow us on Facebook. That's Phoenix FM, where we've been sharing the table and how it looks the Zambian Super League. So the last game, Saturday, the 16th of May, we're going to see Cabo Warriors, who will be hosting Zesco United. As Zesco United side, who've got 3 games to go, at least they can finish in position number 7. Will they do it? Mutondo Stars will be hosting Mines United at Arthur Davis Stadium, also on Saturday, 15 hours. Zanaco, the Bankers, hosting Changa Rangers at 15 hours as well on Saturday. I can see 2 games will be live. That's very impressive. That will be on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we are going to see Nkana Aba-led, who will be in action against FC Muza. Green Eagles will be hosting Power Dynamos, the Power Dynamos who've already won the league title. Konkola Blades hosting Napsa Stars. Mufila Wanderers hosting Red Arrows. Then FC Leopards hosting Green Buffaloes. And Nkwazi, who will be hosting Kansas. And something impressive, I don't know if this is there, 1, 2, 3. There are 4 games on Sunday. 4. Four games on Sunday. 4 games on Sunday, 2 games. That is kudos to everyone involved in that. FAS, the Zambian Premier League, the clubs. I can't remember a time when we've had so many games. So it's going to be enjoyable to watch all these games. Yeah.
All right, so this is where we wrap up the show.